If you are over 50 and struggling with insomnia, this video is for you. If sleep problems after 50 have become your new normal, you are not alone. Many adults wake up at night after 50, staring at the ceiling, feeling exhausted. Poor sleep after 50 often shows up as trouble falling asleep or staying asleep. Some experience light, fragmented sleep that never feels deep or restorative. Others wonder why they can't sleep after 50 despite doing everything right. This is one of the most common signs of sleep changes with age. If you feel tired during the day but wide awake at night, this matters. Waking up at 2 or 3 a.m. is a classic pattern of insomnia after 50. Your body wants rest, but your brain feels alert and overstimulated. This creates frustration, anxiety, and the fear of another bad night. Many people blame stress, habits, or even themselves for poor sleep. But sleep science explains something very different in recent years, and understanding this difference is the first step forward. This does not happen because you forgot how to sleep. It is not a weakness, and it is not a failure of discipline. Sleep science explains that after 50, the brain changes how it regulates sleep. The nervous system becomes more sensitive, especially at night. Hormones like melatonin and cortisol stop following the same rhythm. Your internal clock no longer sends clear signals to stay asleep, and this is where the real story of insomnia after 50 begins. I'm Dr. Sarah, and I work with adults over 50 who struggle with sleep. For many years, my focus has been understanding sleep science and aging. I study how the brain and the nervous system change over time, especially how these changes affect insomnia after 50. Many of my patients come to me feeling confused and frustrated. They say they never had sleep problems before this stage of life, and now sleep feels unpredictable and fragile. If this is happening to you, it's not your fault. You didn't suddenly develop bad habits or lose discipline. Experts in sleep health explain that sleep problems after 50 are biological. The brain processes rest differently as we get older. The nervous system becomes more alert during the night. This makes waking up at night after 50 more common, and it explains why sleep feels lighter than it used to. Studies show that aging changes how the brain releases sleep hormones. Melatonin levels decline and cortisol can rise too early. This creates confusion in the body's internal clock. Your rhythm for sleep and wakefulness becomes less stable. So even when your body is tired, your brain may stay active. This is why poor sleep after 50 is so widespread, and why blaming yourself only adds more stress. Sleep science explains that this is not a mental issue. It is not caused by weakness or lack of willpower. It is a shift in how your nervous system communicates with your brain. After 50, those signals become easier to disrupt. Light, stress, and nighttime thoughts have a stronger effect, which makes falling asleep and staying asleep harder. And this leads directly into the real cause most people never hear about. Many adults over 50 describe the same moment every night. You fall asleep for a short while, then wake up around 2 or 3 a.m. The room is quiet, the house is still, but your mind turns on. Your body feels tired and heavy, yet your brain feels alert. You check the clock and immediately feel tension in your chest. You know morning is coming and sleep feels far away. This pattern is one of the most common forms of insomnia after 50. At that moment, anxiety begins to build without you choosing it. Thoughts start racing, even if nothing is actually wrong. You tell yourself to relax, but the harder you try, the worse it feels. Your nervous system stays activated instead of calming down. This creates a loop where poor sleep after 50 feeds more worry, and more worry makes it even harder to fall back asleep. Sleep science explains why this cycle feels so hard to break. Many people in this situation feel deeply frustrated. They eat better, avoid caffeine, and follow sleep routines. They go to bed earlier and try to do everything right, yet they still wake up at night after 50. This is when self-blame often appears without warning. But the truth is, you're doing everything right and still not sleeping, and that confusion can be emotionally exhausting. Sleep changes with age, especially after 50. The brain becomes more sensitive to internal signals at night. The nervous system reacts faster to stress and alertness. Hormones like melatonin and cortisol no longer rise as strongly as before. Cortisol can increase too early, even during the night. This combination makes sleep lighter and more fragile, and it explains why this experience is so common at this stage of life. Because of this, many adults start to fear bedtime itself. The bed becomes associated with frustration instead of rest. This fear is not imagined or exaggerated. It is a natural response of the brain trying to protect itself. Sleep science explained that this reaction is learned over time, and unless the root cause is addressed, it tends to repeat, which leads to the next misunderstanding most people have about sleep. When sleep problems after 50 begin, most people try simple fixes. They darken the bedroom, lower the noise, and adjust the temperature. Others rely on calming teas or strict nighttime routines. These steps can feel logical and sometimes help a little at first, but for many adults, the wake-ups still continue. The frustration grows when these efforts stop working, and it leads to the belief that nothing will help anymore. The problem is not that these habits are useless. The problem is that they only address the surface of sleep. They focus on the environment, not the brain itself. After 50, insomnia is rarely caused by one single habit. Sleep science explains that the nervous system plays a larger role. The brain becomes more reactive during the night, and no routine alone can override that shift. This is why waking up at night after 50 feels so persistent. The issue is not effort, but miscommunication inside the system, and that misunderstanding keeps many people stuck. Studies show that sleep is controlled by systems, not habits alone. Those systems include the brain, hormones, and the nervous system. Melatonin and cortisol must work in balance. The circadian rhythm must send clear sleep signals. After 50, those signals weaken and become inconsistent, so even perfect habits may not be enough because the deeper system has not been supported. This is where many people begin to feel discouraged. They think they have tried everything already, but in reality, they have only tried pieces of the puzzle. Sleep science explains that fragmented solutions lead to fragmented sleep. What's missing is a way to support the whole system, not just the room or the routine or the mindset, and that opens the door to a very different way of understanding sleep. After 50, the body does not produce sleep signals the same way. One of the biggest changes involves melatonin, the sleep hormone. Melatonin naturally declines with age, even in healthy adults. This hormone helps the brain recognize when it is time to sleep. When levels are lower, sleep becomes lighter and easier to interrupt. This is why falling asleep may take longer than it used to, and why staying asleep becomes more difficult over time. At the same time, cortisol becomes more influential at night. Cortisol is the hormone linked to alertness and stress. After 50, the brain becomes more sensitive to cortisol signals. Even small increases can trigger wakefulness. This often happens in the early morning hours, which explains why many people wake up at night after 50. The body thinks it is time to be alert when it is not. The nervous system also changes with age. It becomes more reactive to thoughts, emotions, and sensations. Small noises or internal thoughts feel louder at night. The brain shifts into alert mode more easily than before. This heightened sensitivity is not intentional or controllable. Sleep science explains that it is a biological response, and it plays a major role in insomnia after 50. All of these changes affect the circadian rhythm. This rhythm is the body's internal clock for sleep and wake cycles. After 50, that clock becomes less precise and more fragile. Signals that once worked automatically start to weaken. Light exposure, stress, and timing have a stronger impact. The brain struggles to stay in deep sleep for long periods, which leads to more frequent nighttime awakenings. Sleep science explains why the brain wakes more easily at night after 50. It is not because sleep is broken forever. It is because the system regulating sleep is less stable. The brain, hormones, and nervous system are slightly out of sync. When this happens, sleep becomes fragmented instead of continuous. This is why poor sleep after 50 follows such a clear pattern, and why understanding this shift is so important. Once you see sleep as a system, everything starts to make sense. The problem is no longer mysterious or random. It follows clear biological rules that can be supported. Experts in sleep health explain that alignment matters more than force. The goal is not to knock yourself out at night. It is to help the system send the right signals again. And that brings us to the key mechanism most people never learn about. Sleep is not controlled by a single switch in the body. It works as an integrated system that must stay in balance. The brain, the nervous system, hormones, and the circadian rhythm all work together. Each part sends signals that guide the body into rest. When these signals are aligned, sleep feels deep and natural. But after 50, this system becomes easier to disrupt, and that disruption shows up as insomnia after 50. The brain is responsible for recognizing when it is safe to sleep. It listens closely to messages from the nervous system. If the nervous system feels alert, the brain stays on guard. Hormones like melatonin and cortisol act as messengers. They tell the brain when to slow down or wake up. The circadian rhythm organizes the timing of all these signals. Together, they create what we experience as sleep. If one part is out of sync, sleep becomes light and fragmented. Even a small imbalance can interrupt the entire process. For example, low melatonin can weaken sleep depth. High nighttime cortisol can trigger sudden awakenings. An overactive nervous system can keep the brain alert. When timing signals arrive at the wrong moment, sleep breaks. This is why waking up at night after 50 feels so unpredictable. Sleep science explains that these systems cannot be fixed in isolation. Supporting only one part leaves the rest unbalanced. That is why fragmented solutions often lead to fragmented sleep. The body needs coordination, not force. After 50, the sleep system requires gentle support that respects how the brain works at this stage of life, and that support must follow the system's natural design. Experts in sleep health explain that this is not about control. It is about helping the system communicate clearly again. When signals are calm and consistent, the brain relaxes. The nervous system shifts into a restful state more easily. Hormones follow a smoother rhythm through the night. This creates the conditions for deeper and more stable sleep without pushing the body beyond its limits. Understanding this mechanism changes how you view sleep. It explains why effort alone has not worked. It removes the fear that something is permanently wrong. Sleep problems after 50 follow logical patterns that can be supported in safe, natural ways. Once the system is respected, sleep has room to improve. And this leads directly into how that support is actually applied. After 50, the body responds differently to stress and stimulation. It no longer reacts well to forceful solutions or extreme approaches. What it needs is support that works with its natural biology. Sleep science explains that pushing the system often creates resistance. The brain becomes more alert instead of more relaxed. This is why gentle strategies tend to be more effective, especially for sleep problems after 50. The goal is not to override the brain at night. It is to help the nervous system feel calm and safe. When the nervous system relaxes, the brain follows. This allows natural sleep signals to rise on their own. Doctor-approved approaches focus on this exact process. They aim to calm the system, not shock it, and they respect how the body changes with age. Working with biology means understanding timing and balance. Melatonin needs the right conditions to rise naturally. Cortisol needs to stay low during the night. The circadian rhythm needs consistent, gentle guidance. None of this requires aggressive intervention. It requires alignment and support, and that is especially important for adults over 50. Experts in sleep health explain that natural support is complementary. It does not replace medical care or personal health routines. It works alongside healthy habits and professional guidance. This makes it safer and more sustainable over time. The body is not being forced into sleep. It is being encouraged to return to its rhythm, which reduces fear and nighttime tension. Respecting the mature body is essential. After 50, recovery takes longer and sensitivity increases. Safe support acknowledges these realities. It avoids overstimulation and harsh reactions. Instead, it helps the brain feel secure at night. This sense of safety is critical for deeper sleep, and it builds confidence instead of dependence. When people understand this logic, sleep begins to feel possible again. The focus shifts from control to cooperation, from fighting the night to supporting the system. Sleep science explained that this mindset reduces stress around bedtime. Less stress allows the nervous system to slow down, and this prepares the body for a more restful night, which brings us to how this type of support is actually used in daily life.
This is why many adults over 50 are now using a natural sleep support protocol. Not as a quick fix and not as a cure, but as a way to support how the brain and body manage sleep. This approach is based on sleep science explained in simple terms. It focuses on restoring balance instead of forcing rest, and it follows the natural design of the sleep system, especially for sleep problems after 50. The protocol is designed to support the brain first, because sleep always begins in the brain, not in the bed. By helping the nervous system calm down, sleep signals can flow more clearly. This allows melatonin and cortisol to return to healthier patterns. The circadian rhythm receives more consistent guidance. Over time, the system becomes less reactive at night, which can reduce waking up at night after 50. This type of support does not replace medical care. It is not intended to treat or diagnose any condition. Experts in sleep health explain that it works best as a complement. It fits alongside healthy routines and professional guidance. The goal is to support natural sleep processes, not to interfere with them or override them, and not to create dependency or pressure. Many adults are drawn to this approach because it feels safe. There's no aggressive stimulation or forced shutdown. The body is allowed to respond at its own pace. This is especially important for the mature nervous system. After 50, sensitivity increases and tolerance decreases. A calm, supportive method respects these changes and helps reduce fear around bedtime. For those who are curious to learn more, the protocol is available. It has been placed in the first pinned comment below this video. There is no urgency or pressure to act immediately. The most important step is understanding how sleep works now. Information alone can already reduce nighttime anxiety, and clarity often brings a sense of relief, which is essential for better sleep. Once people understand how this protocol fits the sleep system, their perspective on insomnia after 50 begins to shift. Sleep no longer feels random or uncontrollable. It becomes something that can be gently supported. Sleep science explains that confidence calms the nervous system, and calm is a critical signal for rest. This leads directly into who this approach is truly meant for. This approach was created with adults over 50 in mind, especially those experiencing insomnia after 50. It is meant for people dealing with light to moderate sleep difficulties, including frequent nighttime awakenings and restless sleep. Those who fall asleep but wake up too early often relate to this. It also fits people whose sleep feels shallow and unrefreshing. These are common patterns of sleep problems after 50. It makes sense for individuals who want a calm, supportive solution, people who prefer working with their body instead of fighting it, those who understand that sleep changes with age, and who are open to supporting the brain and nervous system gently. This approach aligns with natural sleep signals. It respects the circadian rhythm instead of forcing results, which is important for long-term sleep health. Many adults find reassurance in its educational foundation. Sleep science explained that understanding reduces fear. When fear is lower, the nervous system relaxes more easily. This creates a better environment for sleep to return. The focus is not on instant results. It is on supporting the system consistently and allowing progress to happen naturally. This approach is not for those seeking a miracle solution. It does not promise immediate or guaranteed results. Sleep science does not work that way. Results vary, but the science behind it makes sense. It follows how the brain, hormones, and rhythm interact, and it avoids unrealistic expectations, which protects trust and safety. It is also not for those who ignore biological changes. Sleep problems after 50 are not solved by willpower alone. Ignoring the role of hormones and the nervous system leads to frustration. This approach requires understanding and patience. It asks for cooperation with the body, not resistance or denial, and that mindset makes a real difference. When the right expectations are set, people feel more at ease. There is less pressure to perform sleep. Confidence replaces fear at bedtime. Sleep science explains that safety signals matter deeply. Feeling safe helps the nervous system slow down, and this sense of calm prepares the body for rest. Which brings us to the final perspective on making a smart sleep decision. Sleep is not a matter of willpower. It is not something you can force or control with effort alone. After 50, sleep becomes a biological process that depends on systems. The brain, the nervous system, hormones, and timing must work together. When one part is stressed, the whole system reacts. This is why trying harder often makes sleep feel worse, and why understanding matters more than pushing. Sleep science explains that better sleep starts with clarity. When you understand what is happening in your body, fear decreases. The nervous system responds to that sense of safety. Calm replaces frustration at bedtime. This shift alone can change how the night feels because the brain listens closely to emotional signals, and safety is one of the strongest sleep signals there is. Understanding your sleep is the first step to improving it, not fixing it overnight, but supporting it wisely. Knowledge helps you stop blaming yourself. It reframes insomnia after 50 as a common biological shift. This perspective reduces pressure and unrealistic expectations, which allows the body to respond more naturally and gives sleep space to return. There is no need for urgency or drastic action. Learning comes before changing anything. Education creates confidence, and confidence calms the system. Small, informed steps are often the most effective, especially for a mature nervous system that is more sensitive with age. Gentle awareness supports long-term balance and respects the mature body's needs. If you choose to explore further, do it at your own pace. There is no pressure to decide anything right now. The goal is simply to understand sleep better, to see how your brain and body work together at this stage of life. This understanding alone can reduce nighttime anxiety, and anxiety is one of the biggest barriers to rest, which makes learning a powerful form of self-care. Sleep science explained one thing very clearly. When the system feels supported, it begins to respond, not instantly, but gradually and safely. The focus shifts from struggling at night to understanding the process, and that shift changes how the brain approaches sleep, from tension to cooperation, which opens the door to a healthier relationship with rest.